Did I just film this entire 15-minute vlog and then notice that my camera stopped recording after like 25 seconds? Maybe. Let's do this again. We've got this. Hey there. So it's been a while. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're an existing subscriber from one of my past like art studio vlogs or convention vlogs, I'm sorry it's been a while. I've been super busy these past like 8 months. I'm sorry for the big break. A lot has happened. But in this vlog, we're gonna get to that. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Yona, better known as Kabujiro online, and I've been sharing my art and tabling at conventions for the past 8 years now, so I have a bunch of stories to share, a lot of experience, and I've done some of my biggest shows of the year already in the first half, like Manga Comic-Con in Leipzig or Dokomi in Düsseldorf, and many, many more. Things have grown so much for my little small art business that I actually need to rent a U-Haul now, a big white van to carry all of my merch to conventions. I remember a few years ago, I could still do the exact same conventions with like 2 very heavy suitcases by train. You can find some of those vlogs if you go searching for them in the back catalog. Since I didn't manage to vlog any of the conventions of 2025 so far, and we are already a bit over halfway through the year, I thought I'd do a quick rundown of all of the events and conventions and share my thoughts and feelings and opinions. Not really like a tier ranking because I'd need to set that up, mainly just some rambling to the camera with some nice B-roll footage. We started the year off with Kokorokon in Schwechat, which is near Vienna. If you've watched the last vlog that is up on this channel from November, it really has been a while. You'll be very familiar with this event. It's in the same location as Unicon and it's also done by the same team. So the vibe is similar and you know the organization, it runs smoothly because it is a well-established team at this point, even though the event itself is new. Kokoro means heart in Japanese, which is fitting since this was around Valentine's Day. It's their February event. And although it is smaller than Unicon, it is still quite nice. I hosted a calligraphy workshop at this event and a lot of things did go wrong. I forgot some equipment, but it was still a fun vibe. It was called With Ink and Heart, Japanese calligraphy for love letters, and the people could write I, the Japanese character for love, practicing the different types of strokes, and then write little notes. That was the plan. We kind of ran out of time halfway through, but I did do a better version of this workshop at Dokomi, so I'll get to that later on. I kind of miss teaching. I used to teach a lot more when I was a volunteer for an exchange student organization for around like 7 years, and I also taught school classes and smaller groups of kids and like teenagers for the city of Vienna for their youth department, doing short film, animation, digital art workshops, both like in the holidays and at the schools, and in trying to flex those creative muscles again with these vlogs, getting back into filming and editing and using all of the gear I got. Overall, the convention, back to Kokorokon, was a lot of fun and I hope for it to grow more in the future because it has a lot of potential and I don't need to travel far, which is great. The next event on my list was a small one-day event in Vienna called Illustration Day, which is very art industry focused with like talks and panels and portfolio reviews. So not your typical anime crowd, but also had a very small, cute, curated artist alley, which was organized by my friend Carrie. You'll see her brand Neophobica in a lot of my past vlogs and future vlogs, hopefully, and on social media since we do a lot of fun projects together, which I really enjoy. The booth there had great lighting and the location was great, but overall, like sales-wise, it was slower. After being somewhat burned out by the sheer amount of like one-day events I did last year, I told myself I would cut down on like the insane amount and only do the bigger cons that are really worth it. This event was my only exception though, since I was invited and it was nice to see some other artists and network a bit. But now on to the big one. My Manga Comic-Con Leipzig book fair booth was one of my highlights of 2025. The event is absolutely massive. We had almost 300,000 participants over the 4 days that it was in the book fair and the Manga Comic-Con part. But even though the number is higher than last year, it felt slower just sales-wise. The amount of sales were lower, but the average order value was higher, so I did end up earning a bit more than I did last year because I really focused on bigger apparel items this year, like my onigiri bag, like new clothing, and that helped boost sales. The upfront investment for this convention was scary though. I think the table alone was like 3 or 4 grand. And then I also had to order all of the new products in bulk at the beginning of the year. I'm not quite sure why all conventions this year send out their invoices at the beginning of the year in January, early February, even if the convention is only in end of November, early December, like Comic-Con Stuttgart, for example. But it is what it is. You can't really change that. I need to budget in a way that I have a bunch of money left over at the beginning. I did my best to film a bunch of like short form content there. I did bring my vlogging camera, the one that I'm filming on right now, but I just did not get to filming. If I do this event again in the future, and I hopefully will, I already applied for next year, I hope to bring more helpers, maybe an additional person, so that I have more time to escape the booth and show you the event, because the other artists there are amazing and like the publishers have really cool setups and it's just a nice vibe. Manga Comic-Con was also the event where I got to first show, here it is, the prototype, the sample for my onigiri eater bag. It has the pin eater window with different colored inserts on the back and like the charm, and I really love the way it looks. I'll show you more in a different video. It is currently up for pre-order again in my online store because you sold out of the entire first run at Dokomi and in my online store. So by the time you're seeing this video, depending on how long it takes me to edit, it might be in stock again. It might have arrived at my studio. After Manga Comic-Con, I embarked on a 7-week trip to Southeast Asia for product development, for getting inspiration for new items, and also meeting some fellow artists, publishers, mangaka, and companies like Copic Markers to work on possible collaborations. Browsing the gift shops in Korea, but also in Taiwan, gave me much inspiration. Is that a sentence? I cannot speak English anymore. Taiwan in particular was really cool. They have like a bunch of embroidered items, and you can see that was what inspired me to make these embroidered bag charm, double-sided keychain things. I love working with textiles. That's been one of my main sources of inspiration, and since I have them on my desk, I was taking product photos. I can show you, this was the full collection of these embroidered keychains. I used the time in Asia for product photography, for the onigiri bag, my matcha taiyaki bag. We took really, really cool photos of the taiyaki bag, like the fish crossbody bag, at a palace in Korea. And there was a wedding photographer taking pictures next to us for a couple, and he was filming the entire thing on like a 360 GoPro that was attached to his bag. And then in the final edit of his like wedding photography video, you can see us kind of modeling the bag in the background. It was kind of awkward, but a lot of fun, and the backgrounds were amazing. I also took pictures of my new pins at the Airbnb in Okinawa. We had this outdoor whirlpool, which I loved. It was great. The weather wasn't so great, but the rest was great. And it had this beautiful blue tiles. So I took some pictures there. I took a lot of pictures in like Japanese parks and when hiking. The overall vibe and aesthetic kind of really matched what I'm going for at the moment. After like branding my entire booth setup, if you've seen my Dokomi video from last year in this fresh Kombini 7-Eleven style K-Market branding, I switched back this year to a more traditional earthy style, and the photos I took like really matched that, and I kind of look forward to doing more of that. It kind of fits more with my brand in my opinion. After coming back to Austria after these 7 weeks, I was tired and ready for another break, but I did not have time for a break. I had one day to pack for Animefest. I vlogged this event last year. My thoughts have not really changed at all. It's a very cute, like smaller event. It's super close to Vienna where I live, which is nice. The vibes are great. The opening hours are terrible. They close so late on Saturday. They did close on time this time, which was great, but it's still the longest individual convention day of the entire year, and I need a week off afterwards to recover, which I did not get because after Animefest was Vienna Comics, and after Vienna Comics was Dokomi, back-to-back weekends. And if you know anything about Dokomi, you know that I was wasted afterwards. Quick words about Comix. Comix is like an older comic book fair in Vienna. It's existed for absolutely ever. It was actually the first convention that I ever attended back in 2017, 18, I think. Back then the tables were for free and the barrier of entry was super low, but now I got like a bigger dealer booth, and had it not been like smack in the middle of a heat wave in like a big metal expo hall, I probably would have had more fun than I did, but it was fine. I had time to recover afterwards. No, I didn't, because the con you all probably know me from, and a bunch of you came up saying you've seen my vlogs and know me from there, is Dokomi. I'm surprised that you kind of know me through these vlogs, because my following, my reach on like Instagram and TikTok is so much bigger. But a bunch of you said you look forward to seeing the vlogs, so I'm kind of sorry I didn't vlog this one. I did bring my camera again, but it was super busy. I know there's other artists who did vlog it. I saw Inkwell's vlog. He flew in from the States for the convention and has like a very good summary. You can go check that out as well. But I really enjoyed the space. It had the same size booth as last year, so my planning improved. I knew how to utilize the space a bit better, but then there's still improvements that can be made. You always learn afterwards how it could have been much more efficient from the setup and the customer flow and where people come from. And yeah, we came with a huge U-Haul. I brought 200 onigiri bags. They were all gone at the end, and now I only had 2 events left until we're back to the present. They were both like gaming esports themed, so I'll kind of combine them in this wrap up. One was in Salzburg, it was called Level Up, and the other was in Vienna called the Eins Esports Festival. And they were the past 2 weekends back to back, and both of them were fine. Gaming events aren't really my personal target audience, but sales were still decent overall. I feel like, unlike these traditional anime and Comic-Con events, the visitors don't go to like the gaming events for the artist alley. They go there to get free goodies and play gaming demos and play on their Switch 2. I finally have my Switch 2, so I can chill these next weeks, I hope. Or I'm gonna work on new products. We will see. The one in Salzburg, unfortunately, was on the same weekend as the City Festival and the local Pride Parade, so attendance was lower than I would have hoped, but still cannot complain. Had a good first year, and that kind of concludes the half-year convention wrap-up. But I still have a lot of events to go this year, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be able to vlog those. I have 4 weeks off, as I said, so I'm gonna work on new embroidered keychains. I'm working on some gaming desk mats for Gamescom, and I think I'm just gonna go over to my desk and show you what I've been working on, so that we have a little bit of movement in this vlog, and also I can show you some sneak peeks that haven't been shared before. Let's do that. Okay, so we moved just a few meters to the side to my little desk office setup, and what I'm going to show you is inspired by my trips to Japan, and mainly all of the art and design books I've been purchasing there. I have a bunch of new books. These were just the closest 3, and this is the one I'm going to talk about in a second, but I bought some books on like Japanese fashion and textile history, and on Japanese layout design. This one I just ordered when I was back already, but the one that I got inspired to for the project that is open behind me, I'll show you on the screen in a second, is this one. It's called A Collection of Canned Food Labels Made in Japan, and it's all of these vintage, like Showa era canned food packages that look really cool. They have these great colors. It's all color palettes I would normally not really gravitate towards, and these great patterns, and to a lesser extent really great textures, which doesn't really come through for the project that I'm working on, but it's something I want to explore more in the future. And I took my favorite designs, and if you can kind of see a little bit, I already closed all of the blinds. It's way too warm in here, so I'm going to keep this segment a bit shorter. It's related to this. I'm just going to move the camera closer and show you. One moment. Okay, I think now you can see what I'm doing a bit better. And here's a little sneak peek. These were some of the design elements and like the first few sketches, but here is what it is. It is a sock gift set. This is actually the packaging for the design. I can quickly open the actual sock patterns and like the thread colors. There's a color missing here. I'm guessing this is the white color, but this is what I'm working on. It is inspired by illustrations found in here of sardines, of this pickled salmon, and of like this tori chicken kind of design. I was testing out different colors and how they look with the entire packaging. I ended up going for the blue, I believe. And then in the first iteration, you see kind of that we had these this is the side of the box. So we have the top of the box, these are the sides, and this is the bottom. And I first had these like full bleed, big versions, and then I created these frames for it to fit in. Does this make any sense? Wait, here I can show you what it's actually going to look like. I also got the samples already. I can show those. I'll add those up on screen here of the designs. And of course, all of like the legal information that needs to go on the bottom. And instead of just centering it, I created some like fish doodles and icons. And then instead of just taking the vector art, and I hate working in vector, this is a lot of image trace from just drawings I did on my iPad and then cleaning it up a little bit. Instead of just using the flat colors, as you can see here, I painted them again. There's a layer wrong here. But then this is actually what the final box that I sent to my manufacturer looked like. And then here you can see all of the red cut lines and die lines is the inside box. And then I created this new sardine illustration, which I'm reusing for a different project as well. And then I reused a bunch of the other icons that you can find within the design of the packaging to kind of make the wraparound box look as cool as possible. This is the first time for socks that I'm creating this kind of box set. It is more expensive and more difficult, and getting the Pantone colors and everything to match just right was a challenge, but I can't wait to see what it looks like. And then the other new thing I'm working on, which just needs to open. Photoshop is slow at the moment and filled with all of these new generative AI features and like AI artwork features, which I'm super thrilled about, of course, if you can hear the tone in my voice. One moment, I will cut to when it's open. Okay, here we are. This is a gaming desk mat. It's food related. You can see the can of sardines that I just illustrated for this made its way. And then I also have these kind of sushi illustrations and the new soy fish and some gyoza. And I did these, I did the sushi, there's some more up here. I did them during Level Up, which is a convention, the last convention I did. I had some downtime when there weren't so many people, so I brought my iPad. And then some of the other illustrations are from previous artworks that I made. So the style is a little bit different from some. Some have more of like line art in them, and the new ones are just painted. Although between this dango illustration and this sushi illustration, there's like 2 or 3 years. So I guess I didn't change my style too much. You could believe that this sushi, this with like the sweet tofu wrapping words, I don't know words anymore, like this were done at the same time, even though it's years apart. I added, if you can see the difference a little bit, a bunch of adjustment layers over everything. For example, this is one of the strongest differences, because this is one of the oldest illustrations, to make it more cohesive, to balance the colors a bit. This is one of 3 desk mat designs I want to do. Ooh, it is very bright. I just moved you over because I feel like talking to nothing and just showing you the screen is a bit boring. But this is one of 3 desk mat designs I want to do for Gamescom. If they arrive in time, I'm not sure. I'm kind of a bit late designing these. I was busy with conventions. But I'm doing this one, I'm doing like a samurai themed one, and I want to do one more that's like more gaming, retro gaming themed, for like controllers and snacks in like more like neutral colors. This one's like very punchy yellow with some bright accents, and then the samurai one will also be like more reds and blues, and then I want one that's more like gray tones with some color accents. So that's the plan for the next few days. I will hopefully vlog that. So in the next vlog that gets uploaded hopefully next week, we're gonna do some new art, and then I have a few other things I need to still work on, finalize, that I will hopefully get to share with you very, very soon. And also, instead of filming this vlog, I actually should be doing my taxes for the second quarter of 2025. I have not done that yet because I am procrastinating, so you can see me vlog instead of it. So it's a benefit for you and to the detriment of me, but I'm almost done. I have everything sorted. I just need to add the final few things. But then I can get back to editing this hopefully, or I'll edit this first if I really want to procrastinate my taxes. yeah, I think I should probably get to that. I'm gonna stop rambling to the camera. I'm gonna film a little outro and then I'll see you next time. I think that is enough of me like rambling to camera. I know this was a big talking to camera video compared to like other artist studio vlogs or especially convention vlogs where I can show you the action and what's actually happening and what I'm working on as I'm doing it and not reminiscing over the past half year because I was too lazy to document any of that. But I'm hoping I get a more consistent upload schedule. I'm hoping for like once a week or once every 2 weeks. You will see in the future if that happens. Fingers crossed that it does. And I'm also thinking about doing like more scripted sit-down videos about art, about product development, preparing for conventions and artist alleys. So if there's anything specific you would like me to talk about and do like a deep dive into, let me know. I'm really motivated to do more videos at the moment. I've been doing so many like short form 15 to 60 second TikToks that I'm happy that I can get on my camera and film these proper longer videos again. That's it for me. Follow me on my other socials to actually see what I'm doing up to date. I post art behind the scenes on various different platforms, on TikTok, on Instagram. I've been using threads. A lot of my threads have been going really well lately, which I'm surprised about. I might do like a social media for artists type video since this is something I spend way too much time on. So yeah, that's the plan for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.